Welcome to the very first episode of You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. You must be wondering why this podcast name is allowed to be listed here, let alone be aired. Well, that is just it. Try saying it out loud. Say it now. Say it in front of your mirror. Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you think you will abide by the title and reaffirm it to yourself and believe in it? Or are you choosing to hear the voice of your own intuition saying, "You dumb fool, you are fucking worth it. You are worthy as much as you're worthy of breathing the same oxygen that every human depends on this planet we call home." Now, this podcast will not talk about the positive affirmations that we tell ourselves conflictingly every day when we're feeling low and unmotivated. Instead, we will face our other self, the supposedly worthless self, and ask it the question head on. Are you really worthless? Or are you just fucking afraid to face your traumas, fears, humiliations, judgments, and embarrassment projected by society onto your poor self? This is a podcast where we will delve deep into the intricacies of the human mind, especially on the subject of worthlessness. I am your host, Nick Nieras, and today we're going to explore a topic that affects many individuals in our society: why feeling worthless has become so prevalent. Before we dive into the reasons behind this phenomenon, let us take a moment to define what it means to feel worthless. Feeling worthless refers to a deep seated belief that one lacks value, significance, or purpose in life. It is a feeling of inadequacy that permeates various aspects of an individual's existence, including their relationships, career, and overall self perception. Our society, with its constant pursuit of perfection and comparison, has contributed to a pervasive sense of worthlessness in individuals. Let us now explore some of the factors that have led to this prevailing sentiment. The rise of social media has undeniably played a significant role in amplifying feelings of worthlessness. Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter provide a curated space where people showcase their highlight reels. Constant exposure to carefully crafted images of success, beauty, and happiness can create an unrealistic standard against which individuals compare themselves to. Moreover, the culture of validation through social media metrics such as likes, followers, and comments has fueled a sense of worth being tied to external validation. When one's self worth hinges on the approval of others, it becomes susceptible to fluctuations, leading to feelings of unworthiness when engaging or validation is lacking. Another contributing factor is the pressure to meet societal expectations. From a very young age, individuals are bombarded with messages about what success, beauty, and happiness should look like. These societal ideals often prioritize external achievements and material possessions, leaving very much little room for acknowledging individual strengths and intrinsic worth. Additionally, the hyper competitive nature of our modern world has fostered a sense of comparison and self judgment. Constantly measuring ourselves against others can lead to a distorted perception of our own abilities and worth. The fear of falling short or not meeting expectations can contribute to a deep seated belief of inherent inadequacy. It is crucial to recognize that feeling worthless is not solely a personal struggle, but rather a societal issue that requires a collective effort to address. So, What can we do as individuals and as a society to combat this prevalent sentiment? Firstly, it is essential to foster a culture of self compassion and self acceptance. As individuals, we must embrace our flaws, acknowledge our strength, and cultivate a positive self image to counteract feelings of worthlessness. How do we do this? This involves challenging unrealistic societal standards and nurturing a sense of worth based on intrinsic qualities and personal growth. For example, you may have the ability to sing and hit the right notes since you were a kid, but you may be afraid to put yourself out there due to a fear of being judged, especially when your best friend or partner is a professional singer. Now, talk about insecurities. However, you may be surprised to learn that they too felt the same way when they first started. The difference is they did it anyway. Secondly, let us prioritize open and honest conversations about mental health. Breaking the stigma surrounding mental health struggles allows individuals to seek support, share their experiences, and recognize that they are not alone in their feelings of worthlessness. Being born to Asian parents myself means that, to them, therapy is something for adults who have a lack of control over what consumes their mind, eventually causing the triggers to those fears. Now, if you see this, this could all very well begin with the way a child was brought up. Calling all my Asian listeners right here and now. I am with you in this. Unlike the Western perspective, admitting yourself to therapy often signals a weakness in the mind. If we touch upon the subject of spirituality, which is another story to unfold, but in this case, it is a sign of strength to admit that we need help and that there is nothing wrong with that. Creating safe spaces where vulnerability is encouraged can pave the way for healing and growth. Lastly, let us all shift the focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. I encourage you to discover and pursue activities that bring you joy, purpose, and a sense of meaning in your life so you can develop a more resilient sense of worth. Cultivating self care practices, pursuing hobbies, and investing in meaningful relationships can all contribute to a stronger foundation of self worth. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a reflection. Take a moment to think about the times when you've doubted your worth. What were the circumstances that triggered those feelings? How did you react to them? And most importantly, how can you challenge those beliefs moving forward? Remember, dear listeners, you are not alone in this journey. We all have our moments of self doubt and worthlessness. But it is always, always, always crucial to remind ourselves of our inherent value. Embrace the journey of self discovery, self acceptance, and personal growth. Do not be afraid to go down that rabbit hole. Believe in your worth and cultivate a mindset that empowers you to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. Thank you for joining me on this inaugural episode of Your Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. I hope this discussion has shed some light on the prevalence of feeling worthless in our society and inevitably sparked a desire for change within yourself. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with your friends, family, or anyone who may benefit from this conversation. And remember, you are worthy of love, happiness, and all the beautiful things life has to offer. Until next time, stay strong, embrace your worth, and keep challenging the narratives that try to define you. This is Nick Nieras, signing off.